All right, to understand more about yoga, its significance, and also the relevance of the 11th International Day of Yoga, we're joined in by guests. We're joined in by Dr. Hansaji Yogendra, Director, the Yoga Institute, Mumbai, and we're joined in by Ambassador C.M. Bhandari, former diplomat and yoga guru. Thank you so much, both of you, for joining us this afternoon on DD India News Hour. Dr. Yogendra, first, I would ask you to explain to our viewers, given the hectic daily lives we lead, we are pressed for time, we are pressed for energies. To what extent does yoga make our lives easier?
Well, when you start living a yoga way of life, you do every action with a balanced state of mind. When you are doing every action with a balanced state of mind, automatically that action is done correctly. You don't have to waste time. And you can move ahead very easily with right direction, with right state of mind, strength, enthusiasm, zest, good amount of energy. And with the help of yoga, you remain in any case healthy. We are not born to suffer in life. We are born to enjoy every moment of our life. And that we learn how to live yoga way of life. And so here comes a good health, good flexible body which doesn't break, which allows you to function. In case if it breaks because of some accident and all that, it gets corrected also very fast. You don't stop there. If one leg broken, another leg starts moving further and you are still going ahead. So the whole attitude, mindset with yoga is very different. In yoga, we continuously move ahead. The whole definition is from consciousness, our consciousness, to universal consciousness. That is one definition, which says that we are trying to be fully balanced ourselves, and we are trying to get all the energy from the universe towards us. Whole universe is helping me to move ahead in life, and that's how we go ahead. So we are full of zest and enthusiasm, and yoga in any case helps us to have these three things. Like I would put it like that yoga has these three subjects in it. One is human psychology, how human mind works and how mind is supposed to work.
Right.
Human mind works in a way that if something goes wrong, you get upset, but how it is supposed to work. Instead of getting upset, what to do? How to come out of that negative phase as fast as possible. All that yoga tells you.
Yes.
Philosophy. And philosophy is there, which tells you whatever action you do, you face the consequences of the action. You create your own world. So make it sure that you create a better world for you. And technology, where you hear asanas, pranayams, meditation, kriyas, bandhas, mudras,
Right.
and all this Surya Namaskar. So that's yoga.
All right, I'll take that forward to Ambassador C.M. Bhandari. Ambassador Bhandari, I would want you to, help us understand, how is yoga a uniting force for the world in today's times? Earlier, we saw that it was music that transcended boundaries and it united people. But in today's modern era, in modern times like these today, we see that it is yoga that is, joining and that is uniting people from all across the world. As a former diplomat, how do you see yoga as a binding force that has brought the nations together in the recent past?
Thank you very much for asking me to join. And this year's theme, One Earth, One Health, is very important because the world, the nature in the world, it's the same, and human body is the same. But still, each individual is different. So as far as this body health is concerned, nature all over the world is helping this body to stay healthy. But unfortunately, these days we find the physical body health is the major issue, and more than the physical health, mental health is even more difficult.
Yes.
So through the yoga practice, and internationally, I have seen, right from 1998 when I was in Canada, I found that there was a lot of interest if we presented yoga not just as the physical body postures, but what is the actual definition that yogas chitta vritti nirodha. how to manage our thought process, how to stay in balance. And then we also give some kriyas. Say, for example, what is breath and what is prana? So, if we combine the physical postures with breath and prana, it becomes a very powerful tool to ensure that physically we are in good health. Once physically we are in good health, we then train, and through Bhagavad Gita, through Yoga Sutras, through several of our texts, where we bring out the science. So we are not showing that this is India's tradition. We are showing this is the ultimate science. So yoga and Ayurveda, which are coming from our Vedic literature. And what is Vedic literature is Brahma Vidya, how this Brahman has come into existence. So this one earth and one health is very important to understand that health at physical level, what Hansaji also said, health at the mental level and health at the spiritual level. And this is spiritual level now people are able to understand that we are not talking of religions. This spiritual means the spirit within each individual, which is universal. Again, this is not, divided by faith systems. So therefore, through yoga, really internationally, people have understood the meaning, how it is. Yoga means bring together, combine,
Yes,
unite.
indeed.
And
It is bringing
it is
together.
happening.
Yes. But, sir, as a former diplomat, how would you understand the efforts that have been made by the government and under the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi for the world to recognize yoga as this universal force? This will be the 11th International Day of Yoga that will be celebrated, and for yoga to be taken up by the UN at such a large scale, so much so that an International Day of Yoga is observed every day. How do you see this? A lot goes into convincing the world to sit back and look at how beneficial yoga is, and that too when it comes from the Prime Minister of the country to the world.
Absolutely. I think our Prime Minister, of course, is the highest yogi that I have seen. And only a yogi can think in these terms, that in his very first address to the United Nations General Assembly, in September 2014, first time, I never imagined that our Prime Minister will bring in this idea of an International Day of Yoga. Even though the efforts have been going on from before, and I know of one guru from Portugal who has been campaigning since 2001, and he had met our Prime Minister when he was Chief Minister of Gujarat in 2012, pressing that India should lead this campaign for an International Day of Yoga. And since then, within 6 months, it became the declaration from the United Nations. And not only that, in 2016, through the efforts of our Prime Minister, even UNESCO declared yoga as the intangible heritage of humanity.
Right.
So both in UNESCO, in United Nations, and then all over the world, yoga was being practiced from before also. But now there is more, kind of centrality into it. And the more and more we bring the science of yoga. So not just that we do certain Surya Namaskar or certain other postures. Yoga is actually working at the thought level. How can we ensure that all human beings, if today's, the kind of conflicts we are seeing, and we are talking of Third World War, why it is happening? It's just the thought process. And if through yoga we can engineer people's thought process, that look, why can't we share? We all are here, we have to live together. So therefore, this, effort from our Prime Minister, and that's why he is recognized by each and every leader of the world.
Yes, indeed. At this point, I'll bring in Dr. Hansaji here. Dr. Hansaji, so yoga is not just about poses today, but it has, it is seen as a science in itself. For the benefit of our viewers, very quickly, if I'd ask you to give us some tips, some important asanas which we can do in our daily, everyday lives to keep us grounded, to keep us intact, and to help us cope up with the everyday pressures that we are facing?
Well, lots can be said here. The point is, first of all, understand that we are not born to suffer in life. We are born to enjoy every moment. If any sickness comes, somewhere the way in which I am living my life, somewhere I am doing mistake. That's why the problem has come. Otherwise, it should not come. Our body itself has its own language to offer. Body itself tells you that what you did, something was wrong, so here is the suffering. For example, you are not flexible and you are standing for a long time, you will feel pain in your knee, leg, or on your back. Body is telling you by giving you a pain. Now you are supposed to immediately listen to your body and see that you go right on your toe or squat down or twist yourself and release the tension of your back, or walk. Walking itself would help you to release the tension of the back. So movement of your body becomes very important. Body is supposed to be flexible and active, not dull and static. Static for some time is fine, but then after that you have to be active. So maybe I give you some example. Breathing. Very easily people suffer from cold, cough, sinusitis, asthma, allergy, pharyngitis, laryngitis, tonsillitis, all these things. So common. Little change of weather and running nose or sneezing starts. Come on, immediately wake up. Change of weather is there. Little bit make changes in your routines. Eat certain food which is not producing more cough. So have nuts, have almonds soaked up at night, or groundnuts soaked up and cooked and eaten. Direct protein is required to overcome this. Try and see that you have fresh fruits and fresh vegetables in your food. Avoid all processed food, deep frozen food, artificially colored, flavored, vitaminized, mineralized food, because they create more toxins in your body. My point is that immediately make some changes according to the weather. That's why
Right.
earth we are talking about. Make changes and you will not get sick. You will not catch cold. I never catch cold so many years. And I'm staying in a city like Mumbai where pollution also is high. Everything is, and my age is 77, and yet I never catch cold and all that. Immunity is strong, everything is strong, because you become alert before the disease sets in. Once it sets in, then you will have to take medicine. Medicine will have its own effect, good and bad both. So, keeping that in mind, listen to your body language. That's my first suggestion. And you can go on. Your knee is paining, suppose. Come on, do some asanas which would help your knee. So lie down. Lift your leg up slowly and stay in that position for some time. Lift one foot above the ground and stay there for some time. Automatically, the muscles which are above knee are going to be strengthened and the pain will disappear. But do this at least twice a day and avoid standing for long. Walk, very good, but avoid standing. I give you my example. One day I found my knee was little bit paining. So I said, this means my knee is getting lazy now, that it has started giving me pain. Come on, make it active. So I climbed the steps. I climbed 2 floors, pain was still there little. I climbed the 3rd floor, pain disappeared. After that, pain has not come. The moment pain comes, you are supposed to do something.
Right.
And then little warm water, keep giving little love to your body. Mentally, don't get worried. Mentally release the tension that no problem has come to go, not to stay. So these are the way. We have to give a holistic approach to our management.
All right. So it is the holistic approach that has to be adopted, and that is what is will be focused when we talk of One Earth, One Health as the theme of International Day of Yoga, the 11th International Day of Yoga. Thank you so much, both of you, for joining us this afternoon on DD India News Hour.